Hey, IDC Church family, this is Shane Shaddix here, and I have the privilege of talking with some of our members who are living overseas. So we're just going to have a quick chat. They can give you a quick update about what their lives look like while they also are affected by coronavirus. So this is Jamie and Lauren, and they are serving in South Asia. How are you guys doing today?
And we're doing great. Lots of stuff going on, as you all know.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What are the kinds of things that are going on for you guys?
These days in our house, lots of Monopoly Deal. We love to cook together. Lauren's a great cook, so I'm her sous chef. So I've been enjoying helping her out in the kitchen.
Yeah, all these have come about from the lockdown that our country, our part of the world is currently in. So much like you guys in America, social distancing has become a big thing here in South Asia. And yeah, a week and a half ago, or I guess a week ago, really, the leaders in our country put the whole country on a 21-day lockdown. That will be lasting until April 14th. And everything that's non-essential basically has been closed. So everything except for hospitals, grocery, food type things. Except for recently, we're on day 3 of an even stricter curfew in our district. I think it is our district. They put us on like even grocery stores aren't open right now. So I think that's lasting until Monday. They extended it until next Monday. So that will be a week of stricter lockdown. After that, hopefully, we're hopeful that they will open grocery and food stores back up for the rest of the lockdown. But yeah, social distancing is a thing over here too, and so we're doing the best we can to stay busy inside and not go too crazy.
When you say it's a thing, you mean like in principle, or people actually are people doing it?
I think people are mostly doing it.
Yeah, we can walk outside of our apartment building. Our apartment complex has 5 buildings, so we can walk down at the bottom. But when we sneak our heads outside of our gate, you can see that there are still people out and about. So
a lot less than usual.
A lot less than usual, that's for sure.
Our city has a population of about 4 million people, and the street right outside of our apartment complex is usually very, very crowded. And nowadays, if you go out there during the prime time, what would normally be prime time traffic, you'll see a motorcycle or car every 30 seconds as opposed to thousands all at once. So there's definitely less people out. But I'm sure there's people, out just driving around just for the fun of it or slipping out here and there. But
so I was, my wife and I came to visit you guys 3 weeks ago at this point. And things were beginning to grow, right? Things were swelling, and you guys were kind of seeing it on the horizon. But did at the same time, did you guys feel like you guys' country was like getting prepared and everything, or did things happen pretty quickly where you guys are at as far as the tightening and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I feel like that our country was as prepared as they could be, but it came on very quick. And so because of that, very strict measures have had to been taken. And because of that, a lot of people across our country have been affected. As many of you guys know, in South Asia, there are a lot of day laborers. And so because of this very strict curfew for 3 weeks, they don't have their day's wages, which means they don't have the ability to take in food and to pay their power bills, to pay rent, very basic things that we often take for granted. So because we had to take as a country very strict measures, it's affected hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people here. So
there's been some news articles, and maybe some of them have shown up in the States. But a large portion of the population here in our country, there's urban-based population and there's rural population. And a lot of people move from the villages and from the outskirts into the cities for work. But now that there's no work for anyone to do, there are millions of people that are migrating back to their rural villages. And there's no transportation anywhere in the city, anywhere in the country, actually. So trains, buses, they've shut down major roads and highways. And so people are walking days, weeks to get back to their villages. They're sleeping, outside on the road and just trying to get back to their families because they know that there's food out in the villages as opposed to being here and not being able to make money. And so it's affecting a lot of people. And it could potentially be spreading the virus even more. So we're praying against that, obviously, but it is a serious situation here.
Right. So you guys, I mean, have lots of friends and national brothers and sisters, and also just people that you've met or whatever. Have you guys been in contact with anybody who's, you can already tell, is really feeling the weight of all of this?
Yeah. So one of the things we go by as a team is discipling from a distance. And so that's been taken on since the coronavirus has happened. So because of that, we've been in very close contact with our national partners that mainly live in villages within here in the city. And a lot of the families we minister to and love on, they are day laborers. They live day by day, and they're feeling the effects very, very hard. Very, it's hard on them. It's just hard. Yeah. And so our national partners, they're loving these brothers and sisters as best as they can. They're still even going out in spite of the hardships, just preaching the word, being diligent to sow the seed broadly in spite of the risk,
Yeah.
Specifically, one family that we're really close with, the wife, was pregnant, came to full term and went into labor 2 nights ago. And we're on a full city lockdown. We're on a full country lockdown. But the hospitals are open, which is great, but they don't have a vehicle. And so they called us and asked if we could take them to the hospital. So we get our paper masks out, put them on, we drive to their house, we load the whole family up in the car and take them to the hospital. And the first hospital we went to, there weren't any empty beds. So we had to go to the next hospital. And she's groaning through her labor pains, right? She's having contractions. And it's kind of a serious situation.
Yeah, really serious.
We get to the hospital, we buy a bunch of masks for the whole family because they didn't have masks. And so we're trying to keep everybody get some hand sanitizer for everybody. We're squirting it and, trying to keep everybody clean. But that's just an instance where if the virus were not happening, maybe it wouldn't have been as serious of a situation. And we probably would even be at the hospital with them right now, visiting and getting to love on them as a new family, welcoming a new rapport. So just even things like that, life is still moving for people all across the world, but this virus is affecting so many different things. So for them, it just happened to be, inviting their son into the world. But, yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm just imagining, as you're going through all that, just thinking, there's no way you could have foreseen this is what you were signing up for.
Yeah.
You're helping deliver babies, all that kind of stuff, masks, all the things. Man, that's crazy. So otherwise, outside of adventures like that, you guys are basically hunkered down. You're trying to occupy yourselves. You're trying to continue the work as much as possible by just kind of, talking to people on the phones, that kind of things. Otherwise, are you guys are, I assume, trying to do some language study as well, getting good movie recommendations, anything else? What else is occupying your time?
What have we been doing?
Yeah, I think we're running into probably some of the same frustrations that a lot of people in the States are dealing with. A lot of families on our teams are dealing with homeschooling and finishing up the year at home. We're not dealing with that, not having kids right now, but we are still trying to figure out what to do with our time. We're playing games. Yeah, we're taking movie recommendations, so email us. If you've got any good ones.
We're baking more. We're studying Hindi, like you said.
Yeah.
We have business work going on. There's stuff to fill the time. We're reading good books, spending time hanging out with one another. But, there's only so much you can do.
Which of the two of you guys is this more difficult for? So, which of you guys is more, I guess, extroverted that needs to be out? Okay.
Jamie, actually, probably bringing out more of my hermit-like qualities, having been inside. And so it's you get text messages. Everybody's trying to stay connected, FaceTime more. That's great. And we're loving it. But there's some days where I'm I don't really want to respond to the text message. I'm alone. I'm isolated right here.
This is your happy place.
I'm turning inwards more. Jamie's get me out of here. So
I haven't seen the sun. Where's the sun?
Right. You're going to overwhelm some people when you're finally allowed to be around them. So, maybe as we close, I'd love to hear just ways that we can, as a church, be praying for you guys, and then maybe also with that, anything you guys feel like the Lord might be teaching you during this time. If you, whether it's about yourself, about Him, about the work, anything in particular that's kind of struck you in a unique way that maybe wouldn't have otherwise if it wasn't kind of forced upon you like this.
Lauren mentioned this situation with a family having to go to the hospital, and it was one of the first times that, counting the costs being here, it's not something that I have to deal with every day, but that was one of the times that I've had to really decide, hey, this is risky, but it's worth it, because we get to show this family, one, the husband's a believer, the wife we're not really sure about, but man, this is an opportunity where we can extend the love of Christ to them, where we can help bear their burdens, where we can serve them, help them in any way possible. So the Lord's really been teaching me through his word lately, what does it mean to count the cost of being here, and how far are we willing to go? Because there's a part of me, when this situation came up, I was like, I don't think we want to do this. We're just going to stay at home. You guys got to figure it out. But it's like, no, that's why the Lord has brought us here. We want to be genuine with these new brother and hopefully a new sister in the future. So that's something the Lord's been teaching me.
Yeah, and I think alongside that, the power of prayer, because we can't go out and do our normal ministry type work these days, and everything looks a lot different, but we're really just having to trust in the Lord during this season. And I think it's bringing us to our knees a lot more often, a lot more frequently than normal, which is great. And just trusting in him to continue working and moving in lives and hearts all across the country, here in South Asia, and among communities here in our city and among our partners. So we're just trying to figure out, what does it mean for us to love our neighbor well, and how can we continually just be interceding for all of these people. That's
so good. And that's, I mean, in that respect, the gap between us and you guys' work is flattened. It's shortened, shrunk a lot. So as we kind of partner with you guys in that work of particularly praying, give us maybe one or two things specifically that our church family can be praying for you guys, whether it's about now or maybe future ministry.
Yeah. Right now, as I'm sure many of you are praying, pray we would use our time wisely, that we would make the most of the days. We would even be led by the Holy Spirit, knowing how to take a Zoom call with pastors out in the village. That's happening nowadays. Just really neat things that we should be getting involved with, and we want to honor the Lord and be led by the Holy Spirit during this time, even despite distance, despite hardship. So that's one prayer that we'd be appreciative of.
Yeah, and moving forward, that these are hard times for everyone, and we don't really know. We can't really see the end right now, but just that whenever we do come out of this, that the Lord's light and love would just be so evident, and that it would just propel and multiply our work and ministry here in so many different ways, that we'd be able to proclaim his goodness and see more people come to know him. So
no doubt. That's so good. Well, thank you guys for taking the time just to give us a quick update, and you can rest assured that the IDC family will be praying for you guys. And if you need, reach out, let us know. If you need more recommendations of any kind, we've got lots of people that can come from multiple different angles. So we'll fill up the recommendation list for you guys.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. Thank you guys so much. IDC family, thanks for joining us, and we hope this is encouraging, and we'll look forward to seeing you when we can gather again.